Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are getting started on the bodywork for the 180SX. Going to be starting by stripping all the vinyl off that's currently on there, starting to work on customizing our rear fenders. Let's get into it. So first thing's going to be to remove all this vinyl. From there I can get started on fixing up all the bodywork, especially around the fenders, cleaning up all those edges of the crappy job of bondoing and blending that I did last time. There's a couple of dents coming through the roof as well. Hopefully you can pick those up on the camera. So I'm going to have to fix those. Most of the other panels are pretty straight. There are a few dings, a few cracks, especially in the front bumper, that I'm going to have to fix before we can get it ready to paint. The other thing that I'm going to be doing is fixing, if it's going to show up on camera, is that crack which is actually in the metal. So hopefully I can find a way of fixing that, repairing it before we get into paint. So once I've removed all the vinyl, I'm going to start working on customizing the rear fenders. Going to be putting in a vent in the front and then one at the back. Kind of inspired by the Wonder Glare GT over fenders. So yeah, I'll set you up. We're probably going to time lapse it, that way it's not going to be too boring for you all. But yeah, see you soon. Alrighty, so majority of the wrap is now off, except for obviously these rear fenders on both sides. That way, when I come through, I can actually draw on them, do the designs of where I want to do the cutouts for the vents. But all the other panels have the wrap removed, roof, bonnet, skirts, and the front bumper. As you can see, we've got some pretty hectic damage that I'm going to have to fix up. So hopefully with the use of the fiberglass filler I can fix that. The other damage is going to be fixing this crack as well as this one here. Thinking that with the bumper, to fix it, putting a layer of fiberglass behind it, maybe even 2 or 3, just to keep that structural support, and then filling in the actual crack and that massive chunk with the fiberglass filler. Hopefully that'll help do the crack that's on the fender as well. It'll be strong enough. From there we'll have to sand back the roof and start working on away on all of these dents. Chances are I'll fix the bumper and that front fender first, then get to work on the rear fenders, just to make it a bit more exciting. If I have to completely replace these, it means that I can work on the roof while I wait. So from here, gonna go around, just mark out all those spots that I'm gonna have to fix. That way I can see them a bit easier and get started on cutting them away, making them a bit more of a groove, so that the filler will attach a lot easier. things are definitely looking a lot better now. This crack is almost completely filled in. Just have to fill it up with a bit of body filler. This one came out almost perfectly using the fiberglass filler itself. Definitely an improvement on this lower one and the corner in through the bend in the fender. Even though the bumper will cover most of that, at least it's a lot better than what it was. Definitely happy with how the bumper's starting to turn out. Still a little bit of work to do, just with filling it all in with some bit more body filler and then reinforcing it from the other side with some actual fiberglass sheets, but making some progress. So we're up to reinforcing the back of the bumper with some fiberglass. So what I'm going to do is grab my sheets of fiberglass, start cutting a few pieces, make sure that they're going to be long enough to obviously cover the crack down and on the other side. From there, putting a coat of the resin, forgot the word for a second, resin down, that way I can stick the fiberglass to it. From there, just layering it up, putting that reinforcement layer to kind of strengthen it. I'll probably do the crack that's on the other side as well. But yeah, just to keep that strength, that rigidity in it. I'm not going to be too worried about how it looks, especially because it's on the other side of the bumper. So whether it's a mess, I'm not too worried, but just want to need that strength, that support behind it. So that's all down. There is a bit of excess on the edge, which I'm not too worried about. I can always cut, file, sand that back off later. It's more getting that reinforcement through the curve. That does take 2 hours to kind of cure properly. So from here, we'll go back to the fender, finish off sanding that off, and then see what's next. So now I've sanded all the back, gotten rid of a lot of the filler from the top. Just going to put down a layer of primer filler. Then I can sand it back, see where all the high spots are, all the low spots, see where else I need to sand. And then that should be this fender pretty much done. So while the fender's all drying with that filler, I'm going to come over and cover the whole bumper. Same thing in the primer filler, fill in all the small cracks. From there, sand it back, see where we're at, see what we might still have to chuck a bit of filler in, make it a little bit thicker. Definitely happy with how the repair's coming out. It's looking a heck of a lot better than what it was. Still waiting for that fiberglass to properly cure. But while it's doing that, may as well paint it, start sanding other areas of it, and see how we go from there. So we're all coated in primer grey. Definitely looks a lot better. Not gonna lie, kind of tempted just to rattle can the whole car, but obviously shouldn't do that. Definitely noticed a lot of holes, so we'll definitely have to come over with a lot more filler, just tidy up all of those. Obviously there's some for the number plate, but in terms of the repairs, coming through, so this is where the crack is. You can kind of see it on the camera, it's a little bit raised, but definitely nowhere near as bad as what I thought it was going to be. There's a lot of other little holes throughout, but that is the good thing about putting down the primer first, is you can sand it back and you can see those a little bit more obvious than what you can in the gel coat. So from here, sanding it back a little bit more, filling up all those holes, and then we should be good to go. So I can't remember when I started this video what I said I was going to get done, but here we are. So the bumper is pretty much repaired in primer now. Definitely noticed a few more holes, so in the next video we'll be finishing that up. Front fender is pretty much done. Likewise, after priming it, found another crack in it, so we'll have to go back, fill that in, and then cut it off, sand it again. Definitely made a lot of progress. Figured I'd cut the video there, that way it's not just more sanding, more filling, and hopefully the next one will be a bit more exciting as we get those completely done, and then hopefully start working on the rear fenders. So I'll see you in the next one.